What's up there? I want to share with you just a few stretches you can do to help you with pain in your neck or your forearms, usually associated with being in your workplace, whether that's being on a computer or being a barista and tamping shots all day, or anything where you're in front of a computer in a car or leaning forward. So let's start with a couple exercises. Most people who have pain in their forearm also have instability in their shoulder. So with forearm pain, we always want to assess the shoulder for instability. So let's give you just a few exercises for that first. So if you have an arm, which you do, put your arm out in front of you at parallel with the floor. We just want to work on those scapular retractors first. So you can bring your arm forward and you're just going to bring your shoulder blade towards your spine for about 5 reps. Once you're done that, you want to go to like a 60 degree to work more scapular retractors. So we're not bending the arm, we're not hiking the shoulder, we're keeping this distance between the ear and the shoulder the same, and we're retracting that shoulder back, that scapula, back towards the spine. So once you've done 5 of each of those, you step over and grab yourself a little rubber band. It can be a TheraBand, one with handles, it doesn't really matter. We're going to work on that rotator cuff. So we're going to stand with the band being where we can hold our arm at a 90-degree angle parallel with the floor. And we're going to just do, usually we're going to aim to about 12 to 14 reps of moving, internally rotating that shoulder. And just do enough reps until you feel just a little bit tired. You could do a couple more, but you don't want to. So you do your 12 to 14 or whatever that number happens to be with the resistance you have. Then you're going to flip around the other way. Hopefully you can see me. And do it the same way going outwards. First time you're going to go inwards. Second time you're going outwards. Again, 90-degree angles everywhere. Arm level with the floor. Once you've done your 12 to 14 that way, you want to grab your rubber band and slide it towards the floor. And you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to be moving in an upward motion. For your 12 to 14, with that 90-degree angle again. You've done your 12 to 14 there. Slide this high. And this is your last one for your rotator cuff. Same thing, all 90-degree angles everywhere. Do your 12 to 14 or until you feel some fatigue, but you could probably do one more. Last exercise for the shoulder, you can take that off that post or whatever you've attached it to and go over towards the wall. Let's pretend there's a wall right in front of us here. You're going to take your rubber band, hold it in your hands, put your elbows on the wall, hands on the wall. Then stretch that rubber band just a little bit. And you're going to walk your elbows up the wall until your elbows are level with your eyes. Then walk them back down. This is going to work on some of the muscles kind of around the armpit, the serratus anterior. And you do 5 sets of those or until you feel some fatigue, but you could probably still do one more. So now we've stabilized all the muscles in the shoulder. Our arm's going to, if we have arm pain or shoulder pain or neck pain, we're creating more stability around there. But it doesn't mean we can't do a couple stretches for them as well. So go to where you have a door jamb or a corner or somewhere where you can do a slight stretch for your shoulder. If we're hunched forward like this, we tend to get this shortness in our pecs. Doing these exercises like this help bring the shoulder blades closer together and open up the chest, but it doesn't hurt if we can do a little bit of stretching as well. So take your arm, hold it at about again, it can be 90 to 60 degree, and we're going to be turning away from the shoulder. But before we do that, we want to make sure that the head of the shoulder, the head of the humerus is deep in the socket, because we don't want to be stretching open the joint capsule, we want to be stretching the muscle. So get in this position and then think about bringing the head of your humerus into the joint capsule. And once it's there, we can look to the left with our chest wide, open up our chest and feel that stretch. We want to do that about 25 to 30 seconds. Then our last stretch we're going to do is we're going to, again, be against the wall. Take our hand, thumb back, palm against the wall. Stand next to that wall. We're using this to stabilize our shoulder. Then we're going to look with our head at a 45-degree angle. Then look down into our armpit. This is just going to help stretch your levator scap and other tight muscles in the neck. We're going to take our other hand. If this isn't enough of a stretch already, we're going to take that other hand and just use the weight of the arm just to increase that stretch. We're going to do that again for 25 to 30 seconds. So now we've worked on stabilizing the shoulder and stretching out the tight muscles that'll typically be in the in the neck and the shoulder. Let's look at that forearm. So what we do for the forearm is you can get these fancy tools for gua sha for your forearm, or you can use a porcelain spoon, or you can use a very inexpensive spatula with a plastic handle. And you take it, and if you can put some oil on your forearm, that's even better. If not, just do some light chopping from the elbow down the back of the forearm, where people typically experience that tennis elbow, to the wrist. And just do these 2 chops at about 4 to 6 out of 10 pressure for about 90 seconds. Now I'll throw in one more thing for you as well. Often we get these trigger points in between our shoulder blades and sometimes in our neck. Let's go over quickly how we can just address those with a lacrosse ball and a sock. Where's my sock here? So the lacrosse ball is a really great tool that you can use for releasing trigger points, but often when when you're trying to release them in your shoulders, that ball is rolling around all the place and you never find them correctly. So what I recommend is getting a sock, throwing your lacrosse ball halfway down your sock, and all of a sudden you got this handle that you can put it wherever you want with, so you can move it to wherever that trigger point is. And then go up against a wall and find that trigger point and sit into it for up to 2 minutes. And if you want to increase that, release, a lot of people like to move up and down, back and forth. That's okay. What I think would be even better, if it's in between your shoulder blades, think about moving that arm. Because when you move that arm any direction, just hunt for where you feel that more pressure. When you move that arm, you're contracting the muscles and moving the muscle tissue around that trigger point.